Hello everyone, my name is James Murphy. Today we're going to be talking about the mathematics behind classic Monopoly and how to optimize return on investment for properties. So in Monopoly, when you buy a property, you get its rent per landing and obviously its cost. The rent per landing changes with things like color sets, hotels, and houses, but we'll get to that in a second, right? So the average person would calculate return on investment as rent per landing divided by total investment cost, but there's a hole in this initial formula. It assumes all squares on the board are equally as likely to be landed on. A simple random walk forward test shows that no matter what, certain squares are always more likely than others. Specifically, the jail square, not the go to jail square, but the just passing jail square, is the most likely at 5% at any given time. A much better metric is my version of EROI, expected return on investment. It weighs in the current ROI by the percentage chance of the square being landed on. The formula is rent per landing times chance of being landed divided by total cost. For an example, our property costs $100, the rent is 10 per landing, the chance of landing is 3.26%. EROI is 100 times 0.0326 divided by 10. EROI is 0.326. Here is a visualization I made with ChatGPT of this formula. And now I'm going to show a spreadsheet I made of each property's EROI on the game. Alrighty, so best property in all of the game is Connecticut from the light blue set, with the full color set, with the houses, and with the hotel. Its EROI is 0.0431, which is very incredible. There's a hole with the EROI formula as well. It is as objective as we can get with Monopoly, but Monopoly is by nature a strategic game. So I've created a separate discretionary strategic formula. The strategic formula is an adaptive formula for in-game value calculations. The formula can only be used as you are playing and cannot be used to objectively rank properties. Here are our definitions. NPV is your Monopoly property value. This is what the strategic formula calculates. P is your probability of landing. R is rent. Our expectancy is probability times rent. C is our color set multiple. H is our possibility of house or hotel. S is scarcity or strategic value. And I is initial investment costs. The formula is E times C times H times S divided by I times 1,000. This just makes it a higher number. It's just easier to read like that. The values C, H, and S are discretionary. You assign a value based on what you think of X property. Here are example uses of these variables. A standalone property where nobody owns either of the other color sets and neither do you is a 1. It does nothing. If you are receiving at least 2/3 of the color set after purchase, it's a 1.35. And if you're receiving a full color set, it's a 3. If you cannot build a hotel or house, it's a 1. If you can soon build a hotel or house, it's a 1.3. If you can currently build a hotel or house, it's a 1.8. As strategic value. If it blocks an opponent from Monopoly, it's a 1.8. If it can be used for later trade, a 1.3. If it gives the opponent an advantage / leverage, 0.8. If it's none of the above, it's just a 1. Here's an example property. Say I buy St. James Place. The initial investment is $180. The rent per landing is $14. The chance of landing is 2.6%. Our expected rent is 0.364. Now let's also say that in buying St. James Place, I complete a color set. This gives it a strong strategic advantage. Now let's say I also can buy hotels and houses currently. This gives me a very good base for compounding scaling. And let's say there's no strategic advantage, neither disadvantage. We do this math right here and it comes out to an MVP of 10.9. On our score chart, this is what we're looking. This property falls in the excellent category, so I should buy it. Here is a visualization of this formula and how each score interacts with the final score. Alright, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed.